last week helped you a lot because market went in our direction exactly how I said it, and I pointed out some things that you could see in the market. When you see it, then the confirmation will be confirmed, right? And I did some weekly analysis. So let's dive into the review. It's best to do a review first before we jump into what we could expect next. So starting out from the weekly, we could see we had this fair value gap here. Okay, we had this fair value gap here, which was our point of interest that I mentioned. So with this rejection, first of all, we had this rejection. This rejection is already telling us that this it's likely to get respected, like 50%. So there's a possibility that price will get up here. All right. So that was first thing first that I mentioned, and then we dropped into 4 hour. We dropped into 4 hour. By then, we let me see. Okay, we already started this pullback here, this pullback, and I mentioned that we don't have a fair value gap here telling us that price is going higher. All right, we don't have a fair value gap. Price is still reacting to this. Then it could be possible a pullback. All right, but if price wants to go higher, then we should see a fair value gap telling us that price is going higher. That's all. I always tell you that the price, this market will always tell you what it wants to do next. All right. So for here, those who were chasing price could chase it here, and price will come back. Maybe they put in their stop loss as on break even, at break even or break even. I didn't produce English. So then we started seeing this signature, and we're gonna trust it. That is what happened during the week. It was an easy, smooth week. You understand? It was an easy, smooth week, right? So now, what do we expect for next week? And you can also see this, where we swept this liquidity here and we went up. I'm still going to teach this. I'm still working on something which I'm going to teach and show you guys. Okay, so now, what do we expect for next week? Okay, so let's do this analysis together. I've not actually done my analysis yet, but I have something in mind that I could, because this has already happened, right? We've taken out this, we've swept this, it has touched it, this is done, this is done here, we're done with this, all right? So now, getting into next week, actually I'm still holding a buy, a buy here. Yeah, you can say I like to brag, but yeah, I'm holding a buy here. So getting into next week, let's see, do we have anything on the weekly? Let's first check the weekly. Do we have anything on the weekly? Yes, we have something on the weekly. All right. So, guys, just imagine if this was a bearish candle. I was hoping for this to close bearish, right? So that we could use it as an order block, but it didn't close bearish. But still, I want to trust this. Okay. If this doesn't hold and price start dropping, then yeah. But I want to trust this as a fair value gap, all right? And imagine this as an order block, all right? This is for my own analysis. You can follow it, and I will tell you what to look for when price get here, all right? Just stay until the end, all right? Because this is how I find my buyers. I look for something. If it doesn't work, then next time I'm going to write it down. Okay, this doesn't work. I'll look for something else that works till I find something that works. You understand? Because trust me, I know I've said this before. There was no course that I studied that taught me exactly how to trade, like from A to Z. How to pick up some things from other YouTubers, mentors, and mostly from ICT. All right. So, and ICT do tell us to. I think he said we can just pick one PDRA that work. And me, I pick fair value gap. It works for me. Fair value gap and gaps, they all work for me. All right. So now we have this level here, and I'm also going to touch on gold because I started trading gold again. I've been watching gold for I think 2 weeks now, waiting for it to come to the level, to the fair value gap, and it finally came last week before the week ended, and during the week, and I caught a nice buy. Woo! I've never caught a nice buy like that on gold. A nice, clean, easy buy that I knew what I was waiting for. I knew when to enter, and I know when to enter again. I know when to exit. All right. So now, so that's what I want to touch on gold after this. All right. So now, look at this. Here, this is a gap, right? This is a gap. This was also a gap here. How do price react to all this gap? That's one thing you ask yourself, right? How do price react to all this gap on lower time frame? Does it close below it or reject it? I think there was also a gap here. I don't know. There was also one here, right? But that's not the main reason why we take our trade. Like, I'm looking for confidence, like more confidence on a higher time frame. That is what I'm just looking for. So, but that's not the main thing. I'm focused on this. Remember, I'm focused on this fair value gap. This fair value gap is still holding. So even if price decides to come back to this fair value gap again, I'm looking for a buy. All right, I'm still looking for a buy. So now, having this in mind, right? Having this gap in mind, this could be, and the reason why I marked out this gap, I know I keep repeating things, repeating what I said, so it's best for you to write it down. The reason why I'm looking at this gap is I want to treat this as an order block. All right, it might not make sense to you, but let's treat this first as an order block. Because why? Because if price come and close below this, all right, if it closes below this, then everything is no longer valid. This buy movement is no longer valid. I'll give you more reasons why. All right, I'll give you more reasons why. So now let's treat this as an order block, but leave this gap here. Getting into the week, this will be our point of interest to buy to continue buying up here, because remember where price is coming from, and remember how this market move. It moves from internal to external, internal to external, internal to external. Unless this internal fails, then it will change. All right, that is how I look for my change in market direction or change in delivery, whatever you want to call it. All right, but there's a change there. So we still coming from this monthly and weekly order block here. We're still coming from here. So bear that in mind. We're still coming from here. So it's likely, and it's it's possible that price will get here. All right. So we'll be trading towards this direction. That doesn't mean we can have a pullback. We might have a huge pullback, but having those pullback, we still expecting price to get to this level. All right. I hope I'm well clear enough. All right, because every week I'm trying to get better with this thing and how I explain my stuff. All right, so there's a possibility that price will still get here. So we have to trust it. No matter what it does, we have to trust it, unless if it starts failing. If here fails, there's still an order block here. Then if this other block fails, and before it fails, we want to see what price is doing while coming to it. All right, not just, oh, we want to see what is price doing while coming to it. All right, just like here, what was price doing while coming to this level? All right, it was creating this inversion. Which price is still reacting to it? Which price is still reacting to it? Okay, we actually have a close above it. I actually didn't say that yet. We have a close above it. I told you that we're doing this analysis together. All right, we're doing my analysis together, just like I'm doing my analysis and recording it and sharing with you guys. All right, so but that doesn't mean you should just dump yours. You should trust yours also. Then you can use this to compare yours. All right. Sorry, I'm having some kind of cold morning or cold afternoon. All right, so now, I hope you're taking notes. So now, I don't want to touch on daily, but let's look at daily. I don't want to touch on daily actually, but let's look at daily. So if you look at daily here, right? If you look at daily, but I'm not going to trade this coming week based on daily. All right, I'm not trading this week based on what daily has done before. All right, what daily has done before. I don't want to do that based on daily, what daily has done before. So, but put this in mind. All right, so let's go back to weekly. All right, let's actually touch monthly. Let's see what monthly is doing, because I'm done with weekly here. I'm done with this weekly. So let's go to monthly, then, or let's go on 4 hour. Let's finish up this weekly, because we must do the proper time frame alignment. So looking at these levels that we marked, right, what can we see here? We can see a liquidity here. All right, this is a liquidity. This is the new stuff that I started adding to my trade just from previous week. So this is a liquidity here. This is a liquidity, right? This is a liquidity. Why is it a liquidity? Price tap this fair value gap once, and most times price could come to a level fair value gap like twice, right? So come the first time, then the second time to sweep the liquidity, and maybe look for an order block that it could tap. All right. So looking at this, that makes this fair value gap that we marked on the weekly even high probability. All right. So these are all possibility. All right. I'm not asking you to go start looking for sell. So what I do look for is that if we start having a pullback on 4 hour, where do we expect that pullback to change from? That is what I looked for here, right? We started having a pullback here, and where do I want that reversal to possibly start from? So it was here, right? So if it broke above below here, that means that sell will continue. All right, it will continue. I could start targeting all this liquidity. All right, this is a liquidity just like the one that I'm looking at. Okay, and if you look at this also, this is a liquidity here. All right, price came to it the first time, filled up this fair value gap, then the second time, boom. I'm giving you something that nobody teaches. I'm giving you something that nobody teaches. All right. So spending time in this market will make you learn some things. All right. But those things are on higher time frame. Don't go be doing them on lower time frame. Just use a lower time frame for entry. That's all. All right. So this video might be longer, but trust me, you're gonna learn a lot. So we had a nice move last week. There is a possibility that we might see a pullback, all right, into this fair value gap, which is not fair value, which into this gap, and this area will be order block on higher time frame, which is our weekly. Weekly is our higher time frame. And what else do we see below here? We saw an order block here. So this will be our point of interest if price decide that it wants to start pulling back. I'm not seeing any pullback yet. All right, I'm not seeing any pullback. Only what I'm seeing here is a consolidation. We pushed up, we saw a consolidation. All right, we saw a consolidation. So we will expect NAS to possibly go up, or if it wants to come down, this is where we will expect the move. Remember, we're still bullish, all right? So this two level, this is where we want to expect the move, because this price is not telling us anything anymore. It's just consolidating, and two things could happen with it. After a consolidation, we might have a manipulation, then drop down, all right? Or price might decide going up, all right? So this is not as clear as this was for me last week, but I'm still bullish, right? I'm still very, very bullish. So now we're done with weekly and 4 hour. So let's jump into monthly. Let's jump to monthly and daily. This is how you have to look at price now. All right. So looking at monthly, look left. What do we have here? Was this an order block? Yes, it was an order block. Not fully order block, because price hasn't closed above this week yet, but at least we saw some closure here, so we can trust it. All right, and looking below, we can see we already have a sweep below it. Okay, we had a sweep below it, so but price didn't close above it yet, but we can still trust it. All right, so I'm trying to look for more details. Okay, so now price is here, right, reacting to this order block here on monthly. Now on monthly, we're done with weekly and 4 hour, so now we're focusing on monthly, and we have to align it with daily. Okay, so now price is telling us that we have a rejection here. We have a solid rejection, just like the way we did last week. What date is today? Today is 12. Today is 12. Okay, I'm gonna study something later on. Then maybe on the next weekly review and breakdown analysis, whatever you call it, that I'm doing, I'm gonna be adding more things. All right, I'm gonna be adding more stuff that you will learn from. If you learn how to analyze chart like this, bro, you're one step ahead. You're one step ahead, and you adding you're adding more, like, because all we want to do is be 1% better than we were last week, right? So yeah. So, but for those who have been following, cool. Shout out to you. So now we're on the monthly, all right? We're on the monthly, and we can see what monthly is doing, but we want to align it with the proper time frame alignment, which is daily. If you've not watched my time frame alignments, you can look for the video and watch it, all right? So I can be explaining time frame alignment every time here, all right? So we have to use the proper time frame alignment now. So now we're on the daily to align it with the monthly, all right? To align it with the monthly. So can we see anything on the daily yet? No, nothing yet on the daily, trust me. Though I shared this analysis here, right? This was an order block. This was an order block that I shared in my free Telegram channel, and we bought up here. For those that took the buy, we bought to this level. Ooh, I'm having flu, man. This thing is skip. I was drinking like cold cold yogurt this morning, and it got me. So yeah. So looking at the weekly, we actually have nothing apart from this where we traded off from. So I believe that there's a possibility that we're going to do the same thing that we did on 4 hour last week. Price might pull back down, okay? Might pull back down, retest. Look at what all this gap that I marked out is lining up with. Might come retest this, then start giving us that daily fair value gap. Once we see that daily fair value gap, bro, NAS is gone. NAS is gone. Once we see daily fair value gap. So getting into this week, look for a daily fair value gap. Once you see a daily fair value gap, bro, trusted. Trusted, okay? Trusted. But as I always say, I'm not a financial advisor, all right? If you must trade what I say, right? Use a demo account for your own good, all right? I'm not a financial advisor, all right? I'm just a guy who's all doing this for just educational purpose, all right? So, yeah. Okay, so I think we're done. The only thing that we look for here now, we look for a fair value gap. But again, I'm just worried about where we are in the market. All right, I'm just worried about where we are in the market. So if we're gonna see a high time frame reversal, we should see it here. But if lower time frame wants to continue going higher, we need to see a fresh fair value gap being created this coming week. Okay, that's just what we're gonna look for. If price want to continue going higher, we want to see a fresh fair value gap because everything has been traded. We've traded everything. Only what's remaining on 4 hour, it's that liquidity that I spotted, and on the weekly, this liquidity level, that's only what is remaining on 4 hour. All right, just this has been traded. We've traded this, so like might be, why didn't I mark out this? Yes, if we take out this one, we come in for this, or if we take out this, we can come here and rebalance. Though price hasn't tapped this yet, so might take out this and come for this. All right, so anywhere it comes from, we're still looking for that fresh fair value gap to tell us that price is going higher. It's as simple as that, bro. It's as simple as that. Getting into next week, getting into new week, right? You look for a fresh fair value gap that you would trade off from. Let me see. On Monday here, okay, getting into this Monday, there was an order block here, which we traded off from. Then there was this fair value gap that we created in the week, and we traded off. I think if you get into every week and look for a fair value gap, I think you'll still be profitable. Sometimes it might fail. When it fails, then yeah, you can look for something. You can come in the next week and trade something else. But you're not just gonna do it randomly. You still have to get your buyers, right? Get your buyers, know where the market, like where the momentum is. Is the momentum bullish or bearish? Then you can look for something that goes with that momentum and trade it. It's as simple as that. As simple as that, I mean, it doesn't mean that it's easy. As simple doesn't mean easy. You can create a simple strategy that you would trade, and you'll be profitable on it. Once your risk management is good, you're risking the same thing, you're risking the same stuff. That's good. That's it. That's it about trading. There's nothing else. Don't complicate this thing. Try to trade everything, and always make sure a liquidity level is being swept Once it's swept, then for entry, right? For entry, if you're looking for entry, I've talked about entry before. If you're looking for entry, make sure you get a liquidity level swept. Liquidity level can be London low or London high. I don't like trading Asian low and Asian high, because if I'm trading Asian low or Asian high, I'll keep waiting. I'll keep waiting. I'll wait for a long time before we get into New York, because it's New York that we trade, right? We trade New York section. And what about, some people might ask, what about if the London low and London high didn't get swept? If it doesn't get swept, then use your continuation entry model to take your trade. So price will always do two things. It's either it sweep a previous section high or low before going to that intent direction, or it just shoot up. Shooting up means momentum, all right? You have to see some momentum, like here. There was some momentum here going up higher. So price getting into this level. Now, there's momentum here again. So once there's this momentum, right, you can trade them. Well, this will be another video for next time. I could do this some other time. But let's just keep building up this YouTube, because I'm dropping a lot of things here. Let's just keep building up this YouTube. And guys, please, if you're not a subscriber, please make sure you subscribe, because we're just getting started. We're just getting started. We're just turning on the ignition. Trust me. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe, like, and share, so that other traders will benefit from this, okay? And make sure you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and peace out until I see you again, until I talk to you again.